guys, Dorothy here with Done by Dorothy, and we are here today. We are working on our Touch of Nature journal, and we're working on finishing up our first signature today. So let's get going. Let's see, let's flip through till I know I've got some things sitting in here just sort of waiting. Let's see. And it's turning out so good. I love it. Okay. I wanted to put something here. Well, okay. Let's put something here. I'm going to pull this out so it's easier to work with. Make sure I get my glue and my ink and all that stuff ready. Okay. In the kit, there's several of these like little long ones. I actually took one, I folded it in half. I folded it in half and then cut it in half, which, you know, left two little pieces. That's about how much I cut off. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to glue this in the corner, but I want to ink up the little ends first because I didn't ink them up after I cut them. I hope everyone's enjoying this journal. Let me get some glue on here. And I'm going to glue both sides because it's going to be on the front and the back. So, and I'm just going to, not all the way down, I'm going to take it just about where it's about 1/8 of an inch away from the words at the top that say Eclectic Series. And this is part of the McGuffey Reader kit. I'm going to use this sort of as my corner. It's just an underlying bracket over here. I'm going to glue it in. Okay. Then let's see. I think I'll put this right here. Let me grab my Fabri-Tac and put some glue over here so it'll try to put a nice bit over here so it'll hold that down. Because there are multiple layers here, I didn't separate them like I normally do. There's actually like, I think 3 layers there. Yeah, I'm going to take one of those off. So we're going to use 2 layers over here, and I'm just going to leave it sort of, just sort of creating that faux look that it's underneath there. Okay, then on this, I'm going to use my 1/4 inch punch. And I'm just going to punch a hole in there. And it's sort of thick where I doubled that up, and there's multiple layers, so I've got that. So I'm going to use my hole reinforcers here. And I only need to do one in the front because I'll be gluing it down so you're not going to be able to see the back. And I just took some of my cheesecloth and just cut them into 2 strips. And then I'm going to use 2 of them because I sort of want it to be sort of shaggy. And I'm just going to push it through there, and that's what I'm going to use for my ribbon, is a little bit of my cheesecloth. So I'm just going to pull that through, just like you always do for tags. And it's a little bit harder to do when you're using cheesecloth than ribbon. That's just going to sort of let this separate and become sort of almost viney looking. And you know, it can go whichever way. I can actually put it down here, I guess. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this, and I'm just going to put a tad bit of it under this side over here. So I'm just going to, if I can get it to go. Hopefully you can't hear my kids squeaking on the steps in the background. And I'm just going to set and just going to sort of tack that down. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm just going to adhere this down, and I'm just putting that across the bottom. Just I wanted a little bit of decoration there. I could leave it as a tuck spot. I don't want to. There's a lot of tuck spots through here, and so okay. And then I'm just gonna find where I want this to be. I think I actually want it down here a little bit. And you could use a different color ribbon up here. I just really liked the look of the cheesecloth there. And I'm going to tack a little bit here just so it's not all crazy. And just a tad bit over here. There we go. So that did that, and I really like that. I like the way that that looks. And just adds a little green. You know, we haven't did a whole lot of green, and with nature you need green. So there we go. So there's that, and that's just a decoration, which leaves you all this journaling area. So let's see. And we've got this here. Oh, and I wanted to put something here. Or you know what? Maybe we'll put it over here. Nope, I think we'll put it over here. So I'm going to take the other little strip that I have and put some Fabri-Tac down. I want to put some of the green cheesecloth on here. Okay, sorry about that. So we got it glued down. I had to pause my husband's coughing. Too many years of welding and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm adding a piece of that little lace. Remember that we used on the tab at the beginning of the signature. I'm just putting it down here, just to sort of, you know, add a little bit more. Then I found this little cute button, so I'm going to put it up here, but I want to sew it on. And I found this, I got this forest green, it's actually crochet thread, that comes in the big balls. Hold on, let me grab it. Like this, it comes in the big balls. So I'm going to actually sew it on, but what I'm going to do is, hopefully my needle will go through there. Maybe, we'll see. There's some little bitty holes. Nope, it's not going to. Okay, let me find a smaller needle. Let me see if I have any smaller ones in here that are small enough to go through there. I might have to, oh, yep, there's one in the corner. I have a whole bunch. That was just a new, I bought, oh, We Are Memory Keepers, the binding tool that they have, and that's the little kit that come with that. So I had some of my needles I had out the other day. I had put in there. There, I want it straight out. But this is the little We Are Memory Keepers binding tool, and it has where you can lay it on the side if you want to do any kind of like your Japanese binding. And then when you're doing your signatures and stuff, I don't know if you can tell, this is actually dipped into like a V, so you can space your holes apart, you know, how many ever you want to do on your cover or whatever. So that's what it is, and these little things, and this moves around, and it comes with a little kit with some cotton thread and a needle and a booklet on how to use it. So, but it's We Are Memory Keepers. I think they run maybe around $19 or so. I got mine with a 50% off coupon, so I only paid like 10 bucks for it. Okay, so let me And I'm going to hold some of this out because I want to be able to tie it off when I get done. And I'm just going to do one little, you know, the little button X, just enough to adhere it. So I need to hold this down when I pull. Hopefully I won't have any little strands going through there, but I might. Okay. And you know, I'm just enough to add a little bit, and then we'll tighten it down in a minute. There we go. Just enough to adhere it so it looks like it's sewn. Oops, and I did that. I shouldn't have done that. I cut it too short, which is fine. We could glue it, but I think I have enough here that I can, you guys won't be able to see me tie it, but I'll just slide it through here. Give me a second to tie it. It'll take a little bit longer because I cut it too short. How many times have you done that? And I'm just doing like a square knot. So to do a square knot, you go and you cross behind one time and in front the second time, or vice versa. You don't have to actually do it in that order. You can do front to back or back to front or whatever. You just make sure that you move your string to the back. And I'm having forever issues with this, and I have no idea why, because normally I would be, it's because I'm on film and I'm trying to do it. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut these off, not totally, you know, down to the knot. I'm going to leave enough there. Okay. And then I am going to put a tab of art glitter glue right at the knot. I'm just going to move that around. And sort of dot it around and move it around some. Because art glitter glue dries really fast, so I can actually, I glue those ends down, plus I glue my knot down. So it has that cute little dark green. So there's not a lot to that. I mean, it's just, you know, a little card like that. Not a lot at all. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to glue it. Oh, you know what? I'll staple it with my tiny Tim-Holtz. So I'm just going to staple that. Just perfectly fine. And then our little card will slide under there and hold. So just created a little tuck. And I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to that. It was a strip of paper, some cheesecloth, some lace, and a button. But it's enough to, you know, hold that so it doesn't go flying when your journal's closed. So, and well, it would hold it even better if I went this way. Okay, so we've got that. I'm not going to do anything with that. Some of these pages I'm going to spray. Let's see, what are we doing here? Oh, I'm going to do this right here. So let me pull this out so I can work on it. And I'm going to use some of my blue cheesecloth because, you know, I got cheesecloth. I got some yellow too I could use. And see, there's a multiple layers there, so I'm just going to pull that layer apart. That way I can, you know, lay my cheesecloth in different places. Sometimes it doesn't like to come apart. And I'll just do this like this, right like that. Let me grab some of my yellow, and I want to use like the brightest part of my yellow here. I'm just going to chop off a piece of my yellow. And I'll fold it over. I'm going to use it in a bit, but I want to put some of my doily over here. So let's get some Fabri-Tac on there. and never glue on top of the page like I'm doing, because it's a good way to mess everything up. Let's put this circle part over here. I think that would look better. So I don't want it in the spine, so I'm going to make sure I, move it over just a bit and push that down. There we go. Now I'm going to come in with that yellow. I'm going to sort of tighten it up so there's I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here just to hold that yellow in. And I want to make sure my blue still sticks out, but I want my yellow there too. And these have all been inked beforehand, so I'll add a little glue on here. Enough. I'm adding, a little bit heavier than normal because I want it to make sure that it stays on there. Let's put that up to the edge. You know what? I'm gonna pull this up really fast. I'm gonna drop some in there. Blue right there. Let's go ahead and throw this other little piece of blue right around in here. We can glue that over there when we get done in a minute. Let's put that way. And then we will just put a little bit of glue through here so we can manipulate this till we get it down there. Double it up so it's out of our spine area. And I'm going to put just a little bit up here just to sort of hold that in place. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? That yellow adds just enough yellow, and the green looks good. Okay, so we have that. Then over here I wanted to add this just as a tuck, but let me put my bead back in here. Find my rag over here and find my lid to my Fabri-Tac. I'm going to pull this page out. And there. Move this over here. Let me check and see what's up here. Okay, that's got orange there, so I'm not going to worry about. Yes, I think that'll be fine. Yeah, either way, I think that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm actually going to use some of my sprays. I'm going to use some of this blue, and I'm going to use some of my Inca Gold over top of it, and some of my really light blue. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead with my light blue and spray both sides, and then the dark blue and the gold I'll do on this side. And again, I'm going to spray. So I'm just going to take this and make sure it's covering my journal over there. And yes, I know if Mary's on, she's going to say, you should use your spray box. Okay, so there's the light blue. And then over here, I'm going to use some of the dark. Just a touch, not a lot. And if it gets over there, that's fine. I'm not stressing. I could actually put some over here. It's not going to make a difference. Just a tad bit. I'm not spraying a lot. Then I really wanted to do the Inca Gold overtone. And the gold you sort of have to spray heavy. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my gun. Before I do that, let me grab another piece of my key stained paper. I'm going to move this to the side just for a second. Just enough to smear and catch all that paint. We're going to be doing some other spraying on pages too, so I'll catch the rest with that. So we'll have a whole collection by the time we get done. Okay. And that sort of created runs, which, you know, add a whole nother texture. I wanted sort of some white tone in there from that light blue. And just a little bit more gold highlight, so I'm going to sort of puddle up some of the gold. And then we'll dry it in a minute. The heat will evaporate a lot of it, and then the shimmery tone that it'll have when it gets done drying is absolutely gorgeous. And this really doesn't give off any fumes that I've noticed. You know, obviously I wouldn't want to spray it if it was giving off fumes. But it's just like drying your acrylic paint. I'm just soaking up some of that extra. And that'll soak up most of the water when I do that, so as I dry it, I'm going to do that. Then if you wanted to flatten it out, you could run it through a laminator. A laminator would flatten it out. I just sort of hold it and flatten it. Kind of make sure it's dry. A lot of times if you turn it over and spray from the back, then that'll dry out what's left of it. Makes it a little easier to see. And try to dry out those water spots. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of leakage to the back. There is some overspray here, but I think that's where I flip the page. You don't really get a lot of overspray. Okay. And, you know, you can sort of rub that out. If you have a brayer, you can run that over it. Mine is actually soaking right now from where I did some DIY earlier, so I didn't have my brayer, so I'm smashing it by hand. So there's what our page turned out like. I don't know, can you see that golden shimmer in there? This looks so good. Okay, so put this up here. Yes. Yeah. So we'll have that on that page. And I mean, we could always move this around if you'd rather have it somewhere else, but I actually like it there. And then we have that. And then we have our blue. So see, that goes with that just great. And then down here, where did I put it? This is already inked. You know what, let me use my art glitter glue. I'm gonna have to order some more because my bottle's almost empty, and I have a 16 ounce, but I've filled out of it like 3 or 4 times. Twice this year I've filled this bottle up already. No, 3 times I've filled this bottle up. So, doesn't take long to go through it. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that as a tuck. And see, with that gold and the blue, that just accents, it looks great. I love it. So, hopefully you guys can see that color. So there's that. Then we have this. So let's see what we want to do here. What do I want to do here? See, I have this. I sort of like that by itself. It sort of adds to it. I'm not sure I want to do anything to that. You know what? I think, see where this died? I'm just going to fuss strings over. I'm going to fussy cut around the edge of where that stained. Sort of cutting off the straight edge there so it's not so blaringly obvious. So I'm just going to fussy cut around the natural dyeing pattern that's on here. And then I'm going to grab my distress ink. And I'm going to ink it up. On the end like that. Oh, you know what? I goofied. I actually have this sort of pinky tea stained colored I may have to re-glue that is what I'll have to do, but I think I want to make it a little darker pink. Actually, let me grab some white. Let me grab some white doily. Yep, you've seen it. I just hack at it. Okay. We don't have a whole lot of pink in this journal, so let me cover my ink up. Let me move this already drying thing over here. Let me put this in. Let me grab, where is it at? Now this really bright. Actually, you know what? Let me do something real fast. Let me pause this and grab something real fast and I'll be back. Okay, I am back. I am so sorry about that. You never think about things till after you are doing something. So I'm gonna do a couple different things here with that little one and we're gonna dress it up. So first of all, this is 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to put probably I would probably say probably a teaspoonful in my jar or in my bowl, and then I'm going to put 4 drops of my, this is Re-Inker, it's Stampin' Up. This is called Pink Pirouette. So, and then I'm just going to sort of shake that to blend it. Not a lot to it, right? See, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me grab a white piece of paper. Might make it a little easier. I don't know if you guys can see the, yeah, there you can. You can see the pink tone to it. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to sort of wad this up. And I could do this in here. Well, let's just do it in here. And all I'm going to do is take this and sort of wipe up all that alcohol with that doily. Now, if you have a lot of lace you're trying to do, pull it out on your board and do it. You know, you need to add more, just pile it there and then just add it. If you need to add more color, then just add more alcohol. There's a lot there, so I can squeeze out. And then I'm just going to take and sort of smash and rub. I don't know if you can hear, I'm just smashing and rubbing that. Okay. That's it. This is what I use. Just the alcohol goes in here. Just wipe it out. That pulls the dye out into my rag. Or you can wash it out if you want to. And I'm good to go. Use baby wipe or whatever. Then I'm going to grab my gun. And I'm just going to spray or dry. Because it's alcohol, it is going to evaporate really, really fast. It's not going to take very long to dry at all. You do get a slight alcohol fume when you do it, but it's not horrible bad. If you're going to use it straight into a project like I'm going to, then you do need to make sure that, you know, it's all the way dry. And make sure you keep your distance, don't get it too close. If you get it too close, depending on what kind of doily you have or lace, if you have like a thin nylon doily or lace, and that's dry. So, you know, that's how fast it works. Okay. So, let's pull this page out. Oopsie. Let me make sure this is dried off. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So I know I want this to be sort of hanging off the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Get it done and out of the way. Every time you glue something down, that's less you have to think about moving or removing. If you're like me, if I don't glue it down, I'll keep moving it around and I'll end up with it some way and think about it afterwards and go, oh, I like that better the other way. Okay, so I'm going to put this right to the edge where it's hanging off. And again, I can come in here and add a little glue if I need to push it down. All on here. Okay. I know I want to put this here already. Oops, not that way. I want to put it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac because it's already open and it's here, despite the fact I did use my art glitter glue on it earlier. It won't hurt it any. And I'm going to put that right there. Okay. Now, I am going to grab my hopefully this isn't taking too long. I'm sorry if it's taken too long. I apologize. Some of my texture paste dried up around the outside edge because I didn't scrape it down last time. You always want to make sure if you've got it in a jar that you scrape down the sides, because if you don't, it will harden up on you. And I always have to poke it. If you need to, you know, lighten it up, you can. You're going to make it a little bit creamier, you can use a little bit of water, just a tad bit of water, not a lot, because I did maybe a half of a teaspoon of water. You can put there, you just have to make sure you mix really well. So, let me get that off there because that's a little aggravating for me, and I know it is for you then. And I am just taking my palette knife and pretty much just stabbing it, mixing it up to soften it up. It is texture paste. This is a little metal lid. It works great, but there is not a seal built in this, so air does sneak into it. So, you know, that top layer will sometimes will get a little hard, so have to go in and, well, you always have to mix texture paste up, but. And if you didn't want to do it to the whole jar, I did because I could tell by it was that it, you know, all of it needed some. You could just put a small dab on your thing, you know, put a couple drops of water in there, you know, use a small bottle that you can fill with water. Okay. Now I'm just going to grab a little bit of this and put on my plate, my border there. Isn't that a pretty pink? Oh, let me scrape down my edges. There we go. Okay, then I just put my lid back on and it's good to go till the next time I use it. So we do have this. I love this color pink. So I'm gonna take my scraper and just sort of pull some down along the side. I'm not after any random design. I'm just sort of trying to, you know, splatter some across there so there's pink there, but that brown shows through. Right, like that. And then I'm going to take a small bit trying to work that out so it's a little, you know, the more you work it, the thinner it gets sometimes. Okay. And then I'm just going to pull this sideways and I'm just going to sort of pull some along there. Just sort of moving in different directions because I don't want any of it to be the same. I want all that texture to be in different directions. And then up here I'm not going to worry about, I mean I can put some here but I don't have to because I'm going to turn on and glue there. So if you want to scrape some so you have thinner spots, you can do that. And then just reapply it so you can build up in different places. Just sort of adds a little bit more texture. Okay, and then my thing goes right into water. I do have a bunch all over my fingers, so I'm going to grab a baby wipe. If you don't have baby wipes, just wet a rag. I probably shouldn't be using baby wipes. I should be saving those, I think, with everything else going on in the world. Okay. So we have that. I'm going to grab my glue again. And this doesn't take very long to dry. And just keep it moving. And don't put it too close because it will burn and you'll have all kinds of issues. And it doesn't take long. It's already starting to dry. Even the real thick places are getting close. I always like to dry with a gun because I'm impatient. There's not very many things that I like to set and wait, you know, and do. It's just me. I want it done. When I do it, I want it dry. A little bit more. Yep, we're good. So see, that doesn't take long at all once you put it on there. If you put it real thin. Now, if you put it on there real thick, you know, even the thick places that I use are dry. You don't want to put them on there, you know, super thick, you know. And then this is going to go right there. I love it. I have to watch doing that. I'll have my kids in here laughing at me. Well, she's in there laughing at me. I can hear her now already. Hey, when you make something cool that looks cool, then you gotta love it. Okay. And then we'll push that Fabri-Tac will hold down. And once this is dry, even if it would happen to crack off in a small piece, it's not going to it's not going to affect in your thing. It'll just fall out, just like, you know, something, you know, like a speck of dirt or whatever. It's not going to actually adhere to anything because it's already dry. Okay, so that is done. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so, oops. Let's pick this back up. But that just fell out of something. I know it did. Okay. And this is going to go right here. And it's starting to chunk up. Let's see. We've got that. We've got that. I do want to do this. So I need this page out. This over here. Let me cover my Fabri-Tac up. Okay, I'm going to use my blue spray just on this page. So I'm going to grab that page that I had earlier and at the seam hold it so I can just spray this page, and I just want a little bit, not a lot, there we go, minus the blue paint all over my hands now. And pick that up. I'm gonna just hit this real fast just in case. I don't think there was a lot of overspray. Grab my gun, my hair dryer. It's not a hair dryer, it's a heated tool, but same difference. My dryer. Hit it on the back. It will do light. Well, as it dries, the blue will come through a little bit. But that's okay. We don't mind that. Okay. There's that. And then this one, I actually want to put a little thing in the middle of the page, and then you can journal at the top and the bottom. That's just a piece of blue doily. I need to ink this up. This is when I was practicing doing my DIY, and we sprayed the gold, and I showed you I kept that page, and this is just a piece of that gold, so it came out like just pretty much like gold colored shimmery paper. So I'm just darkening up the edges where it was really white there. This is going to go over top here. I don't want that that way because that's that way, so let's put this straight like this. And then I'm going to use my playing card. Maybe tilted that way. And then in the kit was this W, and I'm actually going to put the W, hang on, well, no, I don't want it that way, I don't think. I think we'll just put it right there, maybe with some, let's see. Let me grab my scissors real fast. Sorry for being off camera real fast. Try to, okay. And then I've got this little piece right here. And I'm going to tilt that way. Then we'll put this that way. Maybe I need to darken this doily up some. Yeah, I think I will. Move this out of the way. I'll pull out my acrylic paint. Spray. Okay. Then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to grab my page I had. Move it around, pick all that up. As much of that as I can off of there. And then I'm going to put my lace down, my doily down. I'm just going to sort of rub that on here just to sort of pick up some of that, and it'll leave a design on it, which will be pretty cool. So it'll have that rugged so, you know, there is ways to add texture when you go. So, like, I don't know if you guys can see that and that. Hopefully you can see that. So that's almost dry. Let me pick this up, dry it up a little bit more. Just a tad bit. And I sort of like that because that dark blue shows up every single vertical line where that was stitched. So it really adds to it. Of course, if you used it on the flower one, you know, the petals are going to show up more where it's sewed. You know, the main lines. Just like when you tea dye and you have certain areas that show up and other areas that don't. Okay. Oh yeah, see, I love that. That I like. Okay. Let's glue her down. I know I get overexcited when, you know, I do something and I like the way it really, really looks. Not that I don't like all of it, it's just sometimes I like things a little more than the others. Okay, so we've got that down. Next is our gold piece. And if that looks slightly pink to you, that's because I used a pink paper when I did that gold. It was pink on one side, but not on the other. I don't know why it did that, but let's see. I'm going to put this right like that. And again, I'm using Fabri-Tac because I'm layering up all of this to then my little playing card. How do I want to put, I'm going to put him like that. Might not be exactly how I laid it, but it's close. And then I'm going to put my Fabri-Tac on here, and I'm just going to hold it down and just sort of like dot it around in places because there's not, it's all really, so I'm just going to put them everywhere. Okay, let's put this over to here because I want that 9 to show. Okay, and we have our trusty little W. And we're going to put that right in the middle. Let's sort of tilt it opposite of the 9. So, there we go. I love how that turned out. Nice. Okay. So, that goes there. Put this back in, and that even, you know, with the blue over here really blends in nicely. Okay. That's there. Then I wanted to do just a little corner tuck down here with this. I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac since it's right here. Hopefully this isn't going too long. Sometimes the videos don't like to load right if they're too long. So I may have to divide it into 2 parts. We'll see. Hopefully it'll go with no problem. And that's there. And then I have this little blue piece of lace. I'm just going to cut a piece and... Nope, I don't like the blue. Let's see what we got. You know what, I have some of this pink up here. how about we do that? Just put a small bit. No. Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Let me grab my lace real quick. We have red there, so I have red lace. Just a little bit of red lace. Okay. Let me put that half on, half off. How's that? Okay, so I'm just going to run a line through here. Covering, you know, a nice good half an inch area or so, just to give it enough to hold it down. There, and then that actually is a tuck. So like that. So that's there. And then, let's see. It seems like we had another page I wanted to do something on. I have to figure out. Oh, it was this. I wanted to do a tip in to cover the index, but I wanted it to be there too. So we're just going to do a tip in. Let me put my glue over here. Oops. Grab my art glitter glue. And my index page. Let me fold this so it's okay. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Now I look like I'm grabbing every which direction, don't I? So I'm going to put a bead of glue all the way down the side here. That's just going to help, you know, give my washi tape somewhere to adhere. Because every once in a while, washi tape will come out on you if you don't adhere it. Then because I have the glass, I can put it down. I'm just trying to make sure it's sort of halfway, sort of even, so it's not all crooked. Just gonna tear that off right like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna pull that off. And then what I like to do is run my bead of glue then down my washi tape. And then I'm going to take my page. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'll ink it when we get it done. And I'm just going to center it. Somewhat center it. Exactly. I'm going to leave just a tad bit of space. See that little, almost like a little spine, so it has room to fold. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to take my scissors right where it leads up to the top there, and I'm just going to notch it on both ends. Notch it. And maybe pull over, I can slide that down. Okay, then I'm going to grab my ink. I'm going to go ahead and ink this because I didn't ink it before, so this side over here doesn't really matter because it's going to be covered with washi, but I do need to do the area around and any of the back if I want to do it. So I'm just coming in off the side, sort of swirling in off the side. Okay. Good enough for government work. Okay, then I'm gonna run my bead of glue down my page again. And I'm gonna repeat the same exact thing that I did. I'm gonna grab my washi, I'm gonna fold it, hold it where it lines up. Just push that one side. Put my washi up. And this washi came from Walmart, which is like Asda, or Yeah, where's my husband when I need him? I want to say Tesco, but it's not. And Asda, I think, is Walmart or Aldi and other places. I can't think what it's called. Anyway, it's like Walmart or big box store is where it came from. And if you have a Walmart here in the States, it's in the office section. They actually have, like, with the Happy Planner stuff, they have quite a bit of really nice washies. If you look, you know, you get like 2 or 3 to the set for maybe like $1.88. You get like 3 rolls. That was one that I got, and I had a couple other ones. I don't remember what they were. That was one of them though. Okay, so then I'm gonna come in, and again I'm going to just trim that just like that. Push down. This folds back out. You can fold it over. Just make sure you sort of fold it, burnish it really good. Take your scissors, cut that off, cut that off. And now we can put this back in here. So back in here, we got our little bee tuck over here. We've got our bee over here with the pinkish red, which blends, and it folds out. And you could actually paint over this with like gesso, so you can write on it. Plus you have this writing area there, or you can even leave the index there just because it's sort of fun to read. And that, my friends, is everything but this page. And this page we're going to do the butterfly tuck, and I'm going to use my hole remover. I'm going to use a hole reinforcer right like that. We are going to use, let's see, you know, let's do some more of that green. So all I did is I've got my green cheesecloth, and I just basically, you know, cut a little bitty teeny tiny strip off. Now if you have other stuff you want to use, then, you know, feel free to do that. I just cut a strip off the length that I had cut mine, which is about 7 inches. And then I folded it over and folded it over again. Then I cut this loop open. So now I have 2 strands instead of 1. Then I'm just going to take this, push it from the back, pull it through, take where my hole is, where my loop is, push those 2 ends through, pull, right like that. And now I'm going to put my art, there, okay, well my art glitter glue wanted to come out a while ago. And then, there it goes again, it must have something in there, I'll have to clean it again. Sometimes with art glitter glue, you will have to clean your nozzles. That's just something I've found. That you may not deal with that, but I do. And I'll put this in here as a tuck. So, that is our first signature. And if that would, I'm sorry, that probably took a little longer than what I planned on it being, so I apologize if it's extra long. So you have that, you have our little notebook, Raising Earthworms for Profit, and these, I'm going to leave blank. I was going to stencil them, but I actually think there's so much color and stuff in here that I'm going to leave those blank. The little Fields Notes, our envelope, our little tuck, and this slides out. I never really put anything there, but I think I'll leave that blank so they can write on it. Some of our sprays, our little tuck. Again, there's both our tucks in there, our tags. Just a little decoration. You can use that behind there if you wanted to for a small tuck. Postcard and tag, our other little tag in here. And we could change this out. You know, we could put this over here and, you know, put a longer, you know, we could put this right here since that green goes really good. Slide this over here if you wanted, and that's going to hold it a little bit better. We have our flowers. Like, again, I wanted to leave some journaling pages. It's gorgeous. I love a little primrose tuck. A little raccoon. Pink is gorgeous. There. Love our blue page. We're making money at home. B folds out. Little B tuck. And some of those tucks I'll just shove like, I'll do some index cards and some coffee dyed papers, that kind of thing. For a little possum. And we have our little tuck back here. So, and that is signature number 1. And I mean, honestly, that is big enough to be a journal by itself. If you wanted to do a soft cover journal, I may do that this time. I may make all 3 signatures and then just split them up. And, you know, maybe put, you know, do 3 different covers to put on top, and I don't know. We'll see. And we'll probably be back, come back and do some things to this. Just for right now, this is what I think I'm going to actually move some of these tucks. So I think I'm going to move this, just because it's sort of bulky there. So let's put this back here in the back. It'll tuck in. It'll be cute. No, let's put it behind here. It'll hold it a little better. Just because it's so thick with the, you know, the little notebook and all that right there. So, okay, well, we will be back tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, have a great day, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.